All right, guys, let's kick this thing off. I appreciate your guys' patience. I'm running a little bit behind today. I did not sleep that good. My dog was up all night. I have an old senior citizen dog. Some of you guys know who she is, Lexi. But she's like almost 15 now. And for some reason, last night, she did not want to go to sleep. And when she's walking like on our floor, you could just hear this all night. She's in our room, like crashing into the wall, scratching the door. I must have woke up like 6 times last night. And then Danielle woke up like another 6 times. So like this morning, I was just like, what happened? And by the time we wake up, she's just sound asleep. Right. But she was up all night. Yeah, I was like, I'm over here making noise by her and she won't wake up. Right. I'm like, thanks. So running on a little bit of coffee this morning, but we're here, guys. We made it. We made it. Let's kick it off, guys. It's Tuesday. Positive focus. Got a lot of faces in the house, some people online. If you are online, guys, and you're not committing a crime, please turn your camera on so we can see you. Make sure you're alive and well. We love to see your faces. But let's kick it off, guys, with some positive focus. What are we feeling good about? Let's think about this past week, business, personal. Is there anything that went really well in your business or personal life this past week that you just want to acknowledge and share with us? Give us some good news to set the vibe right. Or is there anyone on the team that you want to shout out, or did you have a win? I need a couple volunteers first. David, talk to me. What do we got?
Shout out to Jason and you for being available when I call you guys. Thank you so much. I know you guys are busy, but you guys got back to me pretty quickly and helped me answer some of those questions I had. Also, positive thing, got the last one graduated out of the house, last kid. So I'm done.
Let's go. All right. I love it. Yeah, good stuff, man. Last one graduated. As far as us being available, man, yeah, we always try to be available as much as possible, guys. So if you guys need anything, do not hesitate to call us, text us, Slack us, anything like that. I just want to make sure that's clear. You're not bugging us. That's mine and Jason's job, is to help you guys and support you guys when you have questions, right? Because sometimes you have a question that's like helping you push that deal forward, or if it's like a technical question, so do not be afraid to call us or text us. There's some of you guys that really take advantage of that, and some of you guys that don't, and I wish you would call us more, right? Because I know sometimes you guys are out there navigating deals alone and you're not calling us. And I'm like, hey, that little extra question that you got answered, or maybe this other insight that we had, could be the difference between you pushing that deal forward or not, right? So multiple minds are better than one, right?
And that's why there's 2 of us, right?
Yeah.
If he's not available, I'm available. Reach out to both of us.
Well, one thing I do request is don't call us both and ask us the same question to try to get the answer that you want. That's that's sometimes, right? Call me, I give you an answer, and then you call Jason and you're looking for a different answer. And I'm like, yeah. And then Jason's like, would you talk to Enrique? What did he say? Well, whatever he said, like, go with that, right? Yeah, we do talk. And I'm like, oh, Jason called, so-and-so called you? Yeah. Well, they called me too, like 5 minutes ago. What'd you tell him? Oh, that's exactly what I told them too. You got to trust us sometimes, right? Just trust. We got your back, guys. Don't worry. David, what were you going to say, bro?
Yeah, and just to kind of add to that, I've been doing this for a long time, but even though I feel like I know the answer, it's still good to pass it by Jason or Enrique just to make sure. I mean, you just never know, right? I mean, you could, I think I know the answer to this, but I want to just make sure that I'm on the right track, or get their opinion, or see what they say about that. So, always ask questions. Always, no matter what, if you've been doing it 1 year or doing 20 years, no matter what, gotta ask the questions.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes it's to reconfirm your answer. Like, hey, this is what I was planning on doing. I just want to double check if you would do it a different way. I'm like, no, that's the way I would do it. And that helps you move things forward, right? So that's part of us being business partners, right? It's part of being a team, is we're here to help. So good stuff. I like that you brought that up, David. Let's get two more positive focuses. What are you guys feeling good about? Someone here in the office, anybody like to raise their hand? What are you feeling good about this past week? Or is there anybody you want to shout out? Matt, talk to me.
Shout out Jason. We got a buyer contract, and I got to see communicate at a high level. Yeah. And it's cool because there's other lenders I've tried and they slack.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, you don't piecemeal. You make sure you gather all the information, and it just sets a really good example of how we need to communicate.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, JP, good job. Who else has something? Jason, what was your positive focus?
My positive focus.
Yeah, we had a nice, great weekend, right?
No, I had my daughter graduated. My daughter graduated high school on Wednesday, so we had a good party for her on Saturday. And my wife did a really, really good job putting together the party. I'm still like a little tired from the weekend, but it turned out really good. My daughter had a really good time. My daughter's birthday is in December, so she never really gets an actual party, right? We usually travel or do something. But this is, I don't think I had a party for her since she was 10 years old. So now she's 18, graduation party. We probably had over 100 people there, family and friends, DJ, food. So it turned out really good. It turned out really nice. I mean, I wasn't surprised how great of a job my wife did, but when it all came together, it turned out really, really nice. So, excited for my daughter, excited for my family. Getting ready for my daughter to, take that next step, going off to college and trying to figure out what she wants to do is exciting as well. But it was neat to have, just all the support, family and friends there. So. Yeah.
I want to shout out Jason on his speech. He did a speech over there at the graduation. He's a little loose. He loosened up a little bit, but hey, your speech was really good, bro. I'm not gonna lie, right? You were asking, hey, how did I do? How did I do? And I'm like, I shed a little, got a little watery in the eyes, I didn't know he could sing, he's sing a little song, a little tune.
What's that? No, you know what, Shri, it's, I wrote my speech. I didn't drop it in chat, but for me, I didn't read it, but it really organized my thoughts, right? I think when you are going to present and when what you're presenting on, it well, or if you're giving a speech about someone you really care about, the sincerity, that stuff really comes out, right? But yeah, I did a little song for my daughter. Yeah, it was, and I was debating whether I was going to do it or not, right? Because I'm like, man, there's going to be over 100 people there, but I'm like, what, you got to be uncomfortable sometimes. And I definitely was uncomfortable, but I think it made it put a good stamp on it there.
So just for context, right? Jason, he's talking about a song that he used to sing to his daughter when she was little, right? So then he sang the song to her, right? Like when, you're a baby, you're a little kid. And then we're all watching, right? And then I turn around and like everyone's bawling, like all these tough guys, right? All Jason's friends are wrestlers. They're all these buff guys, right? And I turn around, eyes are all just watery, right? And I'm just oh, yeah, someone's cutting onions in here or something. I think Rob shed a tear for the first time. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
It was good though.
It was a good moment, guys. I think kind of like David said, so I still have one more that's gonna have to graduate high school. But for me, it just goes by so fast. So if you have little ones, enjoy it because it flies by. And I really don't know where the time went, but it's a great experience and I have a really, really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for. The other thing I want to shout out, guys, is we had a good time at those of you guys that came out to the Urban Putt on Thursday, right? It was cool seeing some of you guys out there. We weren't able to get the whole team out there. Let's see what we can do to get more of us, right? Because a lot of times we don't see each other outside the office or outside of Google Meet or whatever, but it's good to hang out with some of the team. And, not just in the work setting, right? We get to know you guys on an individual basis. It was cool. We had a good time, right? Cool stories. Had some cool stories from Georgia, John, Nat, stuff like that. It was a good time, guys. So we'll keep doing more of those, right? Our goal is to have a team outing maybe like every other month where we do something, even if just to hang out for a couple hours. And I feel like that just helps, keep the bond going and stuff like that. So if you guys have any ideas, Georgia, you had some really good ideas that, maybe we'll talk about later too, just other ways to help the team grow and just and bond together. It was pretty cool. So we got some stuff in the works and Georgia might help us organize some of that. Okay, let's roll into some of the agenda here, guys. Let me see here. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's we had a couple guests in the house. Let's introduce some of our guests. We'll start over here on this side, brother. You want to introduce yourself really quick? 10 Your 10-second introduction, nothing crazy.
Yes,
Just tell us who you are.
I'm Bradley. Just had a call with Enrique last week. It was a great call, and hopefully you get to enjoy the team. Worked out in San Francisco for a couple of years, in South Beach area. So he's doing little high rises up there, but and some property management. But born and raised here, so decided to come back home, and hopefully with the teaching and guidance of Enrique and Jason, hopefully it can become successful like probably all you guys.
Let's go. Welcome. We got two guests back here. If you guys want to introduce yourself really quick.
Yeah, I'm Dat, and I'm also here talking to you and look at your team and see how it functions.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
How long you been in the business, Dad?
I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was I was in high tech, and I transitioned over to real estate in 2005.
Nice.
And I picked up some properties back then. It was really, really cheap back then compared to what I'm now.
Yeah.
What it is now, right? So I did buy some properties, recently as well. So yeah, I'm very, very fortunate I'm in the real estate. So yeah. So
Nice.
I've been doing it for a long time.
Nice. Welcome, Dad. So,
Hey everyone, my name is An. So very nice to meet you all here. So I'm new for Realtor. So hope to get help from all of you. Thank you.
welcome, man. Welcome. Latrice, this is the first time we see you in person, right? We've seen you online. Let's just introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, everyone. I am officially with the team, and I'm happy to be here. I took a long drive to be here, and I'm glad that I did. So glad to be here.
Awesome. Good to see you, Latrice. Welcome.
And Latrice is also joining us on our mortgage side. She's got both real estate and mortgage.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let's look at some of the housekeeping stuff here. Give me one quick second. Actually, I'm going to pull up the numbers from this past week, guys. Let's go through those. Who feels like that a solid week this past week? You're shaking your head when you say, yeah. Is that a yes or a no? All right. So I want to remind everybody, right, before we pull up the numbers and stuff for tracking, just want to remind you, the reason we track, right? What's the reason we track, John? Accountability, right? Some friendly accountability, right? There's no right or wrong answer, right? It's data, right? It's to track whatever happened this past week, right? What sort of hustle did you put in? We're tracking a couple key metrics, right? Calls, appointments set, appointments met. Did we get anybody in contract? Did we work open houses? Stuff like that, right? The things that move the business forward. And so I just want to remind everybody that there is no right or wrong answer, right? So if you're not happy with your numbers, I mean, just use it as data, right? Like use it as data, reflect on it. Hey, what could I do different this week? Everybody's in a different journey, right? And also the other thing is everybody has a different situation, right? Some of us are like, this is our full-time gig. Some of us have other things going on. Some of us only have so much bandwidth. So the other thing I want to, encourage you guys not to do is try to compare yourself to other people, right? Like if you see someone else crushing it, instead use that as motivation for what's possible rather than like, oh man, my numbers, suck compared to this person's numbers, right? Because that's also not, good for, the motivation and the spirits as well, right? So we just use it as data, guys. And
Again, I know we say this often, but remember the next week starts.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't like what your result was, or if you did well, just remember you have the new week to start all over again.
And if there's a particular, if you feel like, man, last week wasn't a good week, or there was, it could have been better, try to focus on that one metric, right? What's the one thing that you could control, right? Because there's a lot of metrics we're tracking, but maybe there's one that you're focused on this week. Maybe it's just your calls. Maybe it's just your follow-up. Maybe it's just your open houses, anything like that, rather than trying to focus on every single thing, right? Because some of them lead to the others. So let's just shout out some people that got after it this past week. Pull up these numbers. So calls to our database or to our leads. Patricia, 170 calls. Leo, 143. Shatal, 103. Rob, 75. You guys were leading the pack this past week with calls that you made in the CRM to your database. So great job. Appointments set this past week. These are either buyer appointments, consults, listing appointments, stuff like that. Matt with 8, Shree with 8, George with 8, John with 6, Rob 3, David 3, Blanca 3. You guys are all leading the pack this past week. So solid job on your appointments set. Appointments met, the ones that actually showed up and you met with. George 7, Shree 6, Matt 5, John 5. You guys are leading the pack on appointments met this past week. Great job. Buyers or listings signed. Guys, I want to remind everybody, if we're signing buyer broker agreements, make sure we are tracking that here, right? So buyers that you sign to work with you or listings that you sign. I had Shree with 2, John with 2, Matt, David, and Hayden, and Shatal with 1. So you guys are leading the pack this past week with new clients that you sign. Open houses that were worked this past week. Latrice 2, Matt 1, Sheetal 1, Patricia 1, Tuan 1, Shelly 1. Good job on working open houses this past week. Trainings that you attended, right? We're always trying to sharpen our skills. Sheetal, Patricia, Leo, and Tuan attended 3 trainings this past week. Shree, Blanca, Rob, Mark, Tom, Vandana, Latrice all attended 2 trainings this past week. So you guys are leading the pack. Great job. As far as posting on social media, Shelly had like a crazy number this past week. 28 on Facebook, 28 on Instagram, 28 on TikTok, and 3 on LinkedIn. So Shelly crushed it this past week with just putting herself out there on social media. Shree 6, George 6, Tom and Tuan 4. You guys are all leading the pack this past week with just promoting yourself on social media. And then buyers or deals under contract. David got 1, Blanca got 1. Solid job, guys. So overall, solid effort, guys, by the team. Like, if we look at just the overall picture of the team, like everyone's getting after it. Those of you that are getting numbers that maybe, like I said, that you're not proud of this week, what adjustment are you going to make? That's the question I want to ask you, right? What adjustment are you going to make to get a better number this week, right? Do I have to adjust my schedule? Do I have to time block things, right? Put it in the calendar. Do I need, to hold myself accountable? Maybe get a buddy, someone like, hey, if social media is not your strong point, let's say, and you're like, hey, who wants to do a little weekly challenge with me to hold each other accountable? Then maybe that's what you got to do. That also works as well. Some accountability partner, or more so also just, what's stopping you from making those things happen, right? We all got our lives going on, right? Sometimes it's just, we got to be more disciplined, right? And get after it. I'm curious from you guys, what's one metric? Let's get a couple shares. What's one metric that you want to increase going forward? Like which one that stood out to you? You're like, man, I could have done a little bit better, or this is something I got to focus on. John, social media. Social media, right? More jokes, man. More jokes.
I can do that.
Yeah. What else, guys? What's one metric that you're like, hey, I want to get this metric up. I want to get this number up for the week. Patrice, your calls. Okay. What else, guys? Which one stood out to you? Open house. All right. Anybody else? Don't be shy. How about anybody at home? What's one number that you wanna get up? So I heard so far social media, calls, and open houses, right? What was that? Appointments met, right? So let's kind of get some tips, right? What's a tip to make more calls, guys? Let's go with Latrice. Who has what's one tip to help ensure that you make more calls this week? Help her out. No, I want people to help you out. Yeah. Let's help out Latrice. Latrice said she wants to get her calls up this week. What's something, Patricia, you led the pack in calls. There we go. This is great. Patricia, what's one suggestion for Latrice to get her calls up?
Just do it. No, I'm just kidding. But come in office, make time for it, and don't be shy.
So just do it. Come in the office or in office, right? And make some time, right? Make some time, right? That's the other thing too. If calls, here's what I've realized, right? If calls is the hard part for you, doing that the first thing in the morning or in the day, right? Get the hard part out of the way done, right? It's like working out. Like for me, I have to work out in the morning because if I don't work out in the morning, good luck on me trying to work out in the evening. Like just too much happens and I already know myself, right? So if I get it done in the morning, it's more likely to happen. And so you got to figure out what is your thing, right? Is it getting it done first thing in the morning? Is it going to an office? You work from home too, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a question, right? So you could be vulnerable. Is your home office set up in a way where you're not distracted and you're able to focus and really get after it?
It can be.
It can be.
I can check yours.
Okay. Come on in, guys. Welcome. Yeah, you guys can come on in and grab a seat anywhere. We'll have you guys come up in a couple minutes. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Another thing that you can do is, there's other people on the team that you may be able to, hold each other accountable and set that time. Even though you're at home making your calls in your home office, you guys can jump on like a Google Meet or a Zoom and dedicate that 2 hours, right? And kind of like almost like a workout partner.
Yeah.
Right? And say, hey, listen, let's do this from 9 to 11, certain days of the week.
The other thing I think what calls too is just setting a goal for that day, right? And like start off small. If it's like, hey, I got to make 20 calls today, right? Because sometimes we're like, I got to make 200 calls this week. And that number is so far away. But if you're just like, hey, today my goal is just make 20 calls. All right. That's a lot easier because you can see the finish line than the 200 calls that you're trying to hit for the week, right? So chunking that down into like small little blocks that you can just tackle really helps move the needle forward, right?
And what tends to happen is if, let's say you set the goal of 20 calls, you're already in that momentum, right? You're already in that process. So you usually will do more.
Yeah. Okay. A couple more things. Some of you guys talked about, the calls, social media. What tips do we have for John to post more on social media? Let's see. Who posted a lot on social media this past week? I think Shelly. I don't know if Shelly is she. I don't know if she's on. Is she on the meeting? Shelly, are you there? I don't know if she's there right now. But who else came in second place? Shri posted 6 times on social media. Where'd he go? Okay. He's answering the call from social media that came in. Who has a tip for John, guys? You've been posting a lot on social media, right? What's a tip you can give John so that he gets more posts on social media?
Daily routine. I'd be interested in what you kind of do on a daily basis, what you're showing. You got some listings out there. Yeah, just give us some people into your world.
There you go. That's really good advice, right? Sometimes with social media, we think we got to create something when instead we should just be documenting.
Yeah.
Who's ever heard that saying, document, don't create, right? I think Gary Vee, if you guys know who Gary Vee is, he made that line famous. But he says, just document what you're already doing. Like, don't think, I got to come up with something because that's a lot harder to do versus like, hey guys, I'm going to go show home. I'm on my way to show this home. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. Like you're just telling people what you're doing, right? And then people become interested and they see you working, they see you hustling. And then naturally some insight starts coming out because you're already there on that conversation. So I would encourage you to just document what you're doing. Like you're out showing a lot of homes, meeting a lot of clients, writing offers. Yeah. But
After I'm done.
But then again, right? Videoing them after you're done showing them becomes another task versus I already got here. I'm already going to show it. Let me just talk about what I'm showing today really quick and not have to worry. Well, I got to edit this video. I got to do all this, right? It's just, it doesn't have to be perfect. It could literally be like record. Hey, what's up guys? I'm just want to let you in. I'm showing this house today. It's whatever, if you guys want to know more, call me. It could be like that simple. And then you go from there. Right. Okay. Open houses. Who can give Shri some advice on how to book more open houses? Anybody?
Reach out to the listing agents.
Reach out to the listing agents. Absolutely. Did anybody, who took advantage of that link that I posted in Slack last week? You did? Were you able to book something from there?
He said his was coming. He's got a few listings that are coming soon. He's painting, doing all that stuff. When they do, he'll give you a call.
Okay. Right. So I'm gonna do a separate training on this, guys, where I show you guys how I find those. But all I did was went on the MLS, search for every listing in like the 3 counties we typically serve, and then I put a filter of anything that's been on the market for 14 days or more. Because I think like the first 2 weeks, usually the listing agents a lot of times are trying to hold those open houses. But if it's like been more than 2 weeks, that usually by that time they're like, yeah, go ahead, you know. And then what I did is I just filtered them. I put a filter for the listing agent company, right? So I found all the EXP ones, and there was 87 of them that were above $1 million, I believe, that have been on the market for more than 14 days, right? And so there were a lot of nice properties in there. And so that's like prime open house, you know, candidates right there. And then a few of you guys called them and booked open houses, right? So it's not that hard. It's just taking the time to do it. Sharon, I think you raised your hand. You booked an open house from that as well, right?
Yes, I did. And it was like 2 minutes away from my house, so which was really nice. And then I had a good traction coming in, and I think I did pick up 1 or 2 clients there.
There you go, right? You can choose the open houses that are in the areas that you want to work, right? And so I would always start off with whoever's at our brokerage first, and then if you can't find anything there, then you can try to go outside of our brokerage, right, and see if you can find something.
Keep in mind, you don't just have to do it Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah,
So even
that's true
for
too.
those that are newer on the market, and if you really want to get in that neighborhood, you can do it on a Friday, you know, Thursday, Friday, right? And remember, you can always work from your laptop at that open house.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's, you might get less traction, but I think you'll get people that are still really interested that are coming at that time.
Yeah, that's true.
So this weekend I had the opportunity to perform which was close. And I had about 7 groups both days that came in. Quite a few buyers came in that wasn't even pre-approved. They were just out there looking. Some of them had agents and some of them didn't. So it was a really good chance for me to utilize the open house as a very good lead source.
There we go. Good stuff, guys. Oh, and then the key is right, obviously, is when you get these open houses, you got to call them right away, right? And so we have trainings, guys. Just if you want more, you know, best practices on open houses and how to convert more leads from open houses, that is in our agent launch training portal. We've done like whole trainings on just best practices. So I would definitely check that out.
Using YLOPO.
Yeah, and using the YLOPO tool to capture them and stuff like that. Good stuff, guys. Question?
I did that training a day before the open house, and it was very helpful.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, because you want to go in with the strategy, right? You don't want to just wing it, right? If you want to be effective at your open house, you got to have a strategy on what you're going to say, how you're going to position yourself to be, you know, a person of value, so you can capture more leads and take them from just lead, you know, make them an actual client. Okay, guys, so we're at about the halfway point. I'm going to bring up our guest speakers today. If you guys want to come up to the front, and they're going to be talking about ADUs. I met with them already, and they kind of showed me what they did, and I was pretty impressed just on their knowledge and their track record. And so they're going to talk to us about how they're helping clients with their ADUs and some of the ways that we can partner with them and just give more value to our buyers and sellers out there. Yeah. Did you want to do a slideshow or anything, or how did you want to, or you want to just? Okay. Let's see, if you log on to, give me 1 second, guys, so I could set this up. So I'll go ahead and okay, so you should be good.
Okay.
Yeah, you could put it on there and then just stand in front of it, and then everybody should be able to see you online. You guys can't hear me. Can you guys all see the screen we're sharing and see Jessica at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, perfect.
We can hear you.
You guys can hear? Yes?
Oh, I can hear you, but I can't hear Jessica.
She's muted.
All right.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Again, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for hosting us. My name is Jessica Kai. I'm with Ali Constructions. We're ADU builder in California. We are one of the largest leading ADU builders in California. Since 2008, we have built already over 1,500 units. So today I'm going to give a presentation on ADU overall, on policies, types, and some case studies. And feel free to ask any questions, should you have them. So first of all, let's define ADU. ADU is a fully independent, self-contained living unit with all necessary amenities. Typically, it will have a kitchen, have bedrooms, and bathrooms. Many times, they will have separate water and electricity meters. When the ADU is built, they will apply for a new street address. Different from your main house. According to a Reuters report in March, there's a huge housing shortage in the US, over 4 million units. And Bay Area alone accounts for 25% of that shortage. So it's worse in the country. And therefore, California is really supporting the build of ADUs. I'm not going to go through all the points here, but just highlight a few key ones. In the past, ADU needs public hearings, which makes virtually impossible to build ADUs because your neighbors is going to protest and they're not going to allow you to build. But nowadays, ADU does not require public hearings. That's a huge thing for ADU. It is purely just Department of Planning and Building Departments. They're just going to approve your ADUs. And the other thing is that there's a state override. State will allow up to 800 square feet ADUs, regardless the zoning. It doesn't even count for the FAR ratio, which is the floor area ratio. So it doesn't even count towards that FAR.
Can you tell me what that is? Because some of these guys don't know what FAR means.
Okay, floor area ratio means, for instance, you have a lot, let's say 10,000 square feet, and then you have a house that's 2,000. Now, let's say this is the zoning is R1, which is a single residential house. And then what you do is you take, each city is slightly different. Some is apply for 0.5, some apply for 0.45, but let's just for the purpose of illustration, 0.5. So 10,000 square feet, 0.5, that's 5,000 square feet. And then you minus the house, which is 2,000, then you have 3,000. Then you minus the, let's say, the 2-car garage, which is 500. So you minus that, so that's another 500 off. So then what's remaining for you to build on this site is 2,500, right? In this case, it may seem irrelevant whether the 800 ADU counts towards the FAR or not, but if you have a smaller lot and after calculation, your FAR, let's say, is 1,000 left, right? But if I build an ADU 800, it doesn't count towards that 1,000. So typically I can build up to 1,800 because that's 1,000 left plus 800, right? But then many cities, they have a limit for ADU, so maximum 1,200, right? Then even though you only have 1,000 left, you can still build 1,200 ADU, right? But that's not every city. Some cities, they allow maximum whatever it's allowed. For instance, San Mateo, there's no 1,200 limit, right? So it goes city by city, but in general, in California, there's a 1,200 cap for ADU. Yeah. So that's significant for from the state. The other thing is the setback. They have very relaxed setback rules now. It used to be the setback has to be so big, so it significantly limits the size of ADU can be built on site. Now it goes as low as 4 feet setback, right? So setback means you have a property line, and then the setback is the distance between where you can build to the rear or the side, or the easement line, or the main house. So these are the rules that we need to abide by. But right now, it's as low as 4 feet.
Question. So the setback, if there is an easement,
Yeah.
it's only 4 feet or like 4 feet easement, again, you have to take setback.
In most cases, they allow you to build up to the easement line. Yeah. For instance, this morning, I just went to the city of Fremont to inquire for on behalf of a client. They have an easement line, which is 10 feet into their property, right? So some cities, they do require easement line and 4 feet setback. But like in Fremont, they say, no, you can just build on the easement line. Therefore, at 10 feet, we don't have to do another 4 feet. Yeah.
They're making it a lot easier, right?
A lot easier, a lot easier. So, you know, so these are the things that we need to look for. And that's another relaxation of the rules. And another thing is that the state now mandate the cities that they need to give you a review within 60 days. So the city has sort of like a deadline to work with, that you can't go beyond 60 days. You have to give an answer whether approved, not approved, or conditioning, you know, you need to do this and that. Maybe you need to do a survey, maybe you need to do an engineer report, you know, stuff like that. But they have to give you an answer within 60 days. Yeah. And the other thing is that for ADUs that's smaller than 500 square feet, it's exempt from some of the school fees, impact fees. Yeah. So these are the things that, the other thing is that parking. There's no parking requirements for ADUs, right? So for instance, you can convert your garage into an ADU and city is not going to ask you to replace that parking space. So that's another significant thing. So all in all, state and cities, they are promoting for ADU buildings. And that's why you see a huge expansion in the market. Yeah. One more thing, last but not least, is very significant, is that state passed a law to allow ADU to be sold separately as condos, separate from your main house. Now in the Bay Area, currently you have Santa Cruz, Berkeley, and San Jose. These 3 cities, they have already adopted that law. And San Francisco is under review. And Santa Clara is under review. So there are many cities they're gonna follow, but they haven't implemented that law yet. There is another law that's being introduced back in 2024, is that state proposed that ADU to be exempt from the property tax for 15 years. So that law has been introduced, but hasn't been adopted yet, hasn't been passed yet. So what you can tell is that the states and the cities, they're really, really encouraging ADU buildings. That's what I'm trying to say here. This again is talking about, you know, ADU can be sold separately as condos. I'll give you one example. For instance, one of our clients in Santa Clara, they have a duplex, right? And they were thinking about, can we do SB9? And SB9 is split lot, right? And we say no, because you're R2 zoning. So SB9 only is applicable to R1 zoning. So you cannot do a duplex, right? And then do a SB9. So what we can do is they have a big lot, corner lot. So what we can do is we can build 2 ADUs attached to each other. So essentially you have one duplex and then you have one ADU as if there's another duplex. Therefore achieving SB9 anyways. But you don't have to go through the expensive, maybe 100K, you know, expenses to do the SB9, right? So there's a lot of solutions that we can do. We just need to understand what client wants. This actually came from an agent. The client wanted to sell the house, sell the duplex, but then they couldn't achieve the price, right? But then we gave them an option. So we're now going to do an ADU for them, and agent will get paid on the referral fee, even though the sale didn't go through, right? So, yeah.
So when you say sell it as a condo, is that implemented now?
In San Jose, Santa Cruz, and Berkeley, they're implementing that now.
Okay. So what does that mean? That you can actually have a main house and this
ADU? Yes.
You're selling them separately?
Yes.
So will it have a different parcel number, same parcel? The city is working that out.
I think the city is working that out, and you have to do a condo arrangement between the house and the ADU. Yeah. And when you building ADU, it doesn't affect the zoning of your main house. So now we're going to talk about the types of ADUs. You have detached ADU, attached ADU, and JADU, junior ADU.
A question real quick.
Yeah.
Shikha, you had a question? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, I have a question about the property tax of ADU.
Okay. The property tax, it's first of all, when you build ADU, it doesn't affect the property tax of your main house. So it doesn't trigger any revaluation of your house. So it's not going to be like your main house is going to increase in to bring it to the current market level. It's not like that, right? So first of all, it's completely isolated from your main house. And then the property tax will be assessed purely based on the ADU. And we have built over the years 1,500 ADUs. We can only tell you what we have observed from our experiences, because many cities, they do it their own way. So there's not a law that they're saying, okay, we're doing property tax calculation based on this and that. What I can tell you is that mostly they use a ICC building valuation rules. You know, in California, they have I think it's nationally, they have, it's called ICC building valuation rules. And it's a construction cost base for, you know, all the new constructions. And then in California, they apply maybe 18% more. It's just because the value here is higher. So when we report the construction values, usually we give a discount for the ADU value, the construction value, as long as it's in the ballpark figure of this ICC building valuation. And then it's a combination of this construction calculation, construction cost calculation plus your main house something. But each city is different and they're not even clear by themselves. So we don't really know.
Yeah.
And in many cases, we have seen cities, they have not charged any property tax on ADUs, but that's, you know, as builder, we don't have control over that. So we cannot give you a clear answer. We can only just give you observations, what we have observed from, you know, all the past cases. Yeah. But we have seen cities, they just charge $200 a month. So we actually don't know. That's the answer. Sorry about that. But I think the cities, they haven't figured this out themselves yet.
Still new, right?
Yes, still new. Like I said, there was a law already introduced back in 2024 that they're proposing to have ADU property tax be exempt for 15 years, for the first 15 years. So if that law passed in the next couple of years, then we will enjoy 15 years of free property tax on the ADUs, but we don't know that yet. Mhm. Yeah. Questions? No?
Can
Okay.
you tell us about your the process, right? Like if we have, or how we would work together, right? Because that's what you and I talked about.
Oh,
That's
yes.
what a lot of our agents are interested in. What
Okay.
role do you guys play? What role do we play? How do we partner? With
Yeah,
you guys?
Okay. So let me just give you this example on the Santa Clara case that we just talked about, right? So from our side, when we have a potential client, we offer free consultation, free on-site measurement, free conceptual site plan drawings and floor plan drawings. And then we offer free quotations. So with this whole free package, kind of like pre-contract stage, we will provide all the services to the client for free. And once we are they are happy with our quotation, and we go back and forth and all of that, and we sign contract, and then we will start a designing process for them, right? Now with agents, when they refer client to us, all they need to do is just to introduce the client to us and tell them this is the ADU builder that they're gonna introduce, and that's all. We take over from that point on. We don't require any work from you guys when we do site visits, we do on-site measurements. We're not requiring you physically to be there or be part of any of that. So there's minimum work involved for you guys, literally none, if you allow us to just freely work with your clients. And then once we sign the contract with your client, we will inform you, because the referral fee is dependent on the ADU size. Typically, we offer anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 referral fees, depending on the size of the ADU. And how it's payable is we will pay 50% when we submit the design to the city for approval, because at that point, the deposit that client paid us become non-refundable. And the next 50% we will pay to the agent is when the building permit has been issued. So we will receive the first payment or first percentage on the construction payment. And then we will pay the next 50% to the agent. Yeah.
What's the time frame on that? Roughly, like
Okay.
when the building permits come out?
Once from the time we sign the contract with the client,
Yeah.
it takes 3 to 6 months for the design to be approved.
Mm.
It also depends on the client, because if we go back and forth with them and they keep on changing the plan, then it just takes longer. But some clients, they're very fast. They already know what they wanted. And then once we presented a few design to them, within a month, we can submit for the design approval.
Wow.
We're not waiting for the design to be approved. We're only waiting for the design to be submitted. So that could be like 2 months.
Mm. So do you have some that's already like pre-designed, that's already approved with the city?
Yes,
That the
we
client can
do.
just pick and to expedite
Yes.
the process?
Yes, we do. We have it with Fremont, and we have it with San Jose, 800 square feet ADU and 1,000 square feet ADUs. Those are standard. We have for each size, we have 2 models. So if you go onto the website of the city, you can see our name and the pre-approved ADU plans. But we are a traditional builder, and we also do design for the client. So aside from these pre-approved plans, we actually do customization for the ADUs. So we're not prefab ADU builders. We are traditional builders. That's why when you have a very odd lot, shape, we design to fit everything to your lot. We don't, just pick the standard ones. Yeah. But if the client, they have a very good lot size and they have a good shape, they can pick one of our pre-approved plans. It saves about 4 months. 4 to 5 months because it's pre-approved, right? So all we need to do, so if they do that, then we can pay the referral fee to you right away. And then 1 more month, it's a building permit. Usually from after the design plan has been approved, it takes about a month to pull the building permit. Yeah. Once we have the building permit, we can pay you the next 50%.
And that's great for investors that want to move along really quickly.
Yeah.
They're not going to live there, so they just want to add the ADUs so that can speed up the process.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know we're coming up a little bit on time, but maybe if you can tell us some of the other ways that you guys can help us with marketing, with some of the ways that you presented, right?
Oh, yeah.
Marketing and stuff like that.
Yes. We can co-market with you guys. For instance, if you have an open house, we can come on to the open house and then, to help you to realize the potential, to tell the clients, this lot has a potential for ADUs. We can even do some sketches for you guys, like pre-marketing stuff for you. We can do conceptual drawings on the floor plan for the ADUs or site planning for the ADU, for that house, either you try to buy or try to sell. Yeah. And the other thing is we can do co-marketing. Tony, maybe you can elaborate a little bit. Tony is our marketing manager. So
Before that, though, I want to just dig in a little bit more to at the open house and stuff. I think that's a huge value add, right? Let's say you have a seller that has a big lot and you're like, hey, let's advertise how you can put an ADU on here. That's just going to attract more buyers.
Yeah.
And they can help put all the drawings together.
Yeah.
That gives you more brownie points with your seller, more value to them.
And
Helps us, generate some opportunities
Yeah.
as well, which we can get paid a referral fee on.
Yeah.
And then helps you sell the property faster as well. Right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a great tool to utilize, guys, for properties that can fit.
Yeah. And the other thing is because we are ADU builders, we come up, we will come across clients that they may be looking for a house. Then we can refer those because we're not agents. So we can refer those clients to you. And we also have investors who bring tons of money into, invest in locally here, but we don't have that capability to help them. So we'll just refer those clients to agents.
Okay. Question.
Yeah.
What is necessary for a lot to be able to build an ADU?
FAR ratio is the first one. You have to do the calculation on the FAR, the floor area ratio that we just talked about. Say, for instance, you have a 5,000 square feet lot. Let's say apply 0.5 and 2,500, right? And then your main house is 2,000. And then you minus maybe a 1-car garage. So let's say 25, right? 2,500. And then, so you say, oh, okay, then I cannot build ADU. No, that's not true because we have 800 that's free of, freebie from the state. Yeah.
Does it have to be flat?
No, it just cost-wise could be slightly different because of the foundation and we have to do the gradings and stuff. But otherwise, no.
Okay.
Since you're traditional builders, do you have to do all the surveys and the soil survey and all of that? So you're not putting a prefab in.
That's right. But in most cases, we don't have to. It's because when the lot is flat and there's no questions about the soil and all of that, unless, let's say, it used to have a swimming pool there. And when the client removed the swimming pool, it really depends on the permit, how they remove the swimming pool, right? If they applied for swimming pool removal, maybe for landscaping, then the feel of the swimming pool is not buildable. Then we may have to redo the soil testing and all of that. And then because if you need to, let's say you cover the pool with, you want to build ADU on there, the feel is different. It has to be engineer feel. In order and compressed so that it's solid enough for ADU to be built on top of that. But in most cases, we don't need soil test. But some cases we do need a land survey. That is to determine the property line and the easement line, just so that we know where we can build. But if the lot is large enough, we will do the setback, let's say 6 feet instead of 4. Then we probably don't need a land survey either. But if we want to maximize every inch of the property and set everything at 4 feet, then we probably do need a land survey just to make sure that your fence is actually where your property line is, that you're not cutting into your neighbor's line. And then once we build the ADU, instead of 4 feet, you only have 3.5. Then what, right? Yeah, so most cases, soil tests are not needed. But in Fremont, it's very different, because a lot of there's a hillside and then, all of that, then it's up to the city. Soil report, we don't recommend clients to do ahead of the submission of the design report, because the city, after they receive the design work, they will tell us what the conditions are. And if they say, well, for your lot, you have to do a soil test, or you have to do whatever survey, then we will do that. Some even require geotech survey. But those are expensive surveys. You're not going to spend money upfront when the city is not even requiring you to do so. So we're gonna wait until the city tells us to say, well, you need to do the survey, then we will do that. Otherwise, we don't.
So on an average, what does it cost you to build one of these? If it's all normal stuff, you're not doing any surveys, just a guess, just an estimate. 800 square feet.
Yeah. So you have, in general, you have 3 categories of costs, right? One is the construction, design, and all of that, which is what we come in for. We do, our cost includes design, construction, and finishing. And then the second category is the fee from the cities, the permit fees and all of that, and maybe impact fees, school fees, whatever that city charges. And the third one will be a third party, for instance, like you just mentioned, surveys, right? So maybe the land survey, geotech survey, or soil test, whatever that's required. That's on clients. And then it's the solar system, because in California, anything that's new construction above 500 square feet requires a solar system on there, unless your main house already has solar system that you can sort of kind of get a waiver from the city, or maybe special circumstances that you have such a huge tree and it doesn't make sense to have solar, then you can ask for a waiver. As for the constructions, 800, you are looking at typically around $320,000. That's including the design, including the construction, including the finishing. The finishing meaning the bathrooms is all fully equipped with the shower, with the vanities, with the mirror, toilet, everything. And then you have the kitchen that's including the all the cabinetries. And ranch hood, cooktop. So all you need to buy is just maybe refrigerator, wash and dryer and stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, around 300.
400 a square foot.
Sorry?
It's about 400 a square foot.
Yeah, around that.
Do you work with specific lenders that help people purchase these, or is it specifically?
In most cases, our clients, they don't require additional funding. Usually they take it from home equity line. What they do is they take a home equity line. One thing is that our payment system, where we don't charge one lump sum. It's a 9 payment installments, right? So at the contract signing, we will take $1,000 for deposit and $4,000 for the design deposit. And then once we have the design approved, we take 20% on the whole contract. And then building permit is 20%. And then we do the foundations and the framework which is the structural physically, and that's another 20%. And then we do water, electricity, the piping, plumbing, and all of that. That's another 20%. And then, so it's every milestone we pass an inspection, we take an installment payment. So the client is not out of pocket for the entire construction cost at all upfront. So what they do is they take a home equity line, they take money from there for maybe about 6 months, because our payment is really 6 months, really, because our construction takes typically 3 to 6 months. And after that, they can go to their lender and then get a refi on the ADU. Yeah. So you're out of money only for 6 months. So one example my colleague Grace always mentioned is that we had a client and they did ADU, and then they had ADU evaluated, appraised at 1 million, and they got 70% LTV, but their cost is only 350. So you pay off your ADU and then you still have money left.
Yeah.
And then you rent it out, so it covers your mortgage, and you still have a little bit of cash flow. Yeah.
Good stuff. Any final questions, guys? I know we're coming up on time. Appreciate you guys being patient. Hope you guys learned some stuff today. I know I did. But definitely, you know, I'm gonna share their contact info, and so, you know, like I told her to come in so we can start creating a partnership.
Yes.
But when you have clients that need ADUs or just have questions or even see, hey, does my
Yeah.
property qualify?
Exactly.
Like we can pass the
Any
phone along to you.
questions? Any questions?
I know we're coming up to that. I just want to ask one question because I know a lot of us run into this. What if there's a unit that's already built? Now, can you guys go in there and get it, I guess, approved to be an ADU? Is that something that you guys ever run into? Because I know we run into properties that have an ADU.
Yeah,
space on
we
it.
can legalize that.
Yeah. Are you guys able to do that? Is that something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Right. Because sometimes you run across that.
Yes. It really depends on the structure,
Yeah.
yeah. But otherwise, we can try to legalize it. Yes.
That's good. That's good. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming out. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.